Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with a special episode of the Rogue Market. I'm going to be doing a lot of episodes going around the Rogue Market because right now is a very good time to be speculating. There are two main categories you can speculate in right now. Right now is cards rotating out of Standard, and cards that are right now stale in Standard that might actually become very playable when all of the Innistrad cards rotate out and Theros rotates in. And in this episode, I'm going to definitely focus on cards that I would be investing in, and these are all bulk rare cards. Bulk rare, I'd say let's stick around $2 and below rares that have hit the bottom. It's just people, dumping all of these Innistrad block cards. They are going to see eternal playability in EDH decks and just casual play. So we're going to start with Innistrad here, and we're just going to go down every rare and see if it's EDH playable. See, I don't know much about EDH, so this is where I hope you guys will chime in and let me know about these cards, if they're EDH playable or not, and give me your picks for. Again, I know absolutely nothing about the format, so I need your help here. I really need someone that knows this format to tell me which cards to invest in, because cards from Scars of Mirrodin and even Zendikar that are EDH playable have started to spike like crazy as EDH becomes a more and more popular format, and even one copy a deck out of these staple cards can definitely increase the price of these cards if each person is playing EDH and needs one copy of that. So let's go ahead and look. Angel Flight Alabaster, I don't think so. Let's go over these quickly. It could come in some sort of spirit deck. Let's look at Back from the Brink. Exile a card from your graveyard and pay its mana cost. Put a token of onto the battlefield that's a copy of that card. Activate this ability only as you could cast a sorcery. Ooh, that's actually very interesting. Do people use Back from the Brink? I'm not sure, but at 49 cents, and this again, we're just looking at Star City here because they've got kind of all the rares in a nice little format for me to look at, and everyone uses this site. I'm not a big fan of Star City. I guess I'll never get sponsored for saying that. But anyway, yeah, because they tend to do some business practices I don't agree with. But anyway, so Back to the Brink is definitely a spec target. Tell me if this card, if it's EDH playable or not. Blasphemous Act, I think would be, because it's one of those sweepers, and it's a red sweeper, and I guess for any of your red commanders, you'd need a big sweeper. Plus, you can put like Boros Reckoner, Stuffy Dolls, decks, or cards like this that I'm sure Blasphemous Act is a combo. Don't think Blood Gift Demon. It might be EDH playable. I have not a clue. Let me know. Bloodline Keeper is definitely one of those cards, but it probably has a little bit further to go down from $1.99. Cackling Counterpart is something that I think will see some. Does the EDH play? Let me know. Let's just hurry and scroll down these things. Another one, Creeping Renaissance. Again, another bulk rare. I'm thinking this does see. So the cool thing about this other site, going to TCG, so we're looking at the top two sites here, Star City followed by TCG Player, is they both have some pretty good information on them. What I like about TCG Player is it shows find decks using it. This little button here, and you can actually scroll and look at all of the cards that use, or all the decks that use this Cackling Counterpart, and you look for ones that actually say EDH. And sorry about my laggy computer right now. So it's usually they put EDH. So there's a Blue Progenitus deck that uses it, and it looks like enough cards. So these are all the people that are including it in their decks. So it looks like there's definitely enough decks that are using, and we have found one that does specifically say EDH, and that is exactly what you're looking for. Yep, Prime Commander Zagana. So there again, there's a deck that is using a Cackling Counterpart. So that's a good way to just start to filter through. Again, I'd really, really like someone to join me at EDH. Maybe I'll get Sith Lord to chime in here on, because he's a big-time EDH player, on which cards you would want to pick up that might actually be very, very staple cards in EDH. Kurzet Hold seems like is EDH playable. Is Creepy Doll? Not clue, but anyway. I'm just, instead of just going down cards like I've been doing that I think are EDH playable, and then Innistrad is just full of cards that I'm like, this is completely absolutely horrible in Standard or any sort of 1-versus-1 format, but then just seem like they have very good combinations in EDH and casual. Laboratory Maniac's actual Legacy playable card now. I've seen Legacy decks that actually use Laboratory Maniac. And the casual appeal to this card is insane. So instead of, you need to go through I'm not suggesting you buy these cards from an internet vendor. What you need is you need to go to your local game store, or you need to trade your local players and just start going through their trade binder and seeing what you can get these for. I used to pick up any bulk rares at 10 cents a piece. So people be like, what about your opposite? I'm like, okay, give me this, 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 this. I just go through their binder and get a ton of bulk rares. And some of those will become duds, but a lot of them are going to make it, hit big in the EDH market. And Idisher, look, even Kessig Cage Breakers. This card seems like it's got a lot of EDH playability if you are a self-mill deck. Yeah, even like Hinterland Harbors, these are going to be seen in EDH deck for, and they've only been printed once, so it might be time to even pick up these dual lands, as they do see a little bit of modern play. Some of them, like Sulphur Falls, actually see a lot of modern play. So that's a definite good spec target is Sulphur Falls, as it does go in the UWR mid-range deck, or UWR control. See what it's at right now. Here, Nevermore is a pretty good trump card in EDH. So my challenge is, you see, it's still $5 for Sulphur Falls, because it is included in so many modern decks at this point. So my challenge is to you EDH players, give me a list of what you think the best bulk rares or under $2 rares from Innistrad, Dark Ascension, and even M13's fine, and then what's the other set? Avacyn Restored. Send me a list of all the cards that see a lot of play, and let's see if we can get a good spec list going for EDH, as I think, I think that there's just so much potential here for the rotating out cards. Let's just look at Scars of Mirrodin real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. Like, Aesthetis, oh, that's fun. Scars of Mirrodin card. What's a good Scars of Mirrodin card? A Nims Death Mantle. This is a card that I've noticed has been spiking recently. This saw absolutely no standard play. Okay, maybe it's not spiking. I've seen it in a lot of decks lately. A lot of people talking about Nim's Death Metal. And maybe this isn't the best of a example, because maybe it's still a while before even Scars of Mirrodin starts to spike for the EDH. But there's asceticism right there that you could have got in standard for bulk price, which is now up to $4 card, and is basically in every green EDH deck. So, you can start to see, all these bottomed out at one point, and they're starting to recover a little bit. Like, there's Azuri, that was bulk at one point. Genesis Wave was bulk at one point. So some of these still have Lunar. Wow, look at Leonin Arbiter still sitting at 50 cents. If you haven't picked up your playset of Leonin Arbiter, you really, really need to pick this card up. It is in so many modern decks at this point. So Mimic that did hit, I think it hit under $1 at one point. It's still in $1.49, but I hear this card's great in EDH as well. And anyway, so you probably have time to speculate in EDH, but with the difference between Scars and Mirrodin and the Innistrad block is I don't believe that the availability of cards from Scars, you have to actually search to find a lot of these cards, and they won't be in bulk boxes as easily ready, or people willing to give them up as easy as Innistrad. Man, you can say, hey, I'll buy all your bulk Innistrad cards for 10 cents a piece, and you'll be surprised all the people, like all the standard players, that will just unload those. And like I said, some of them will hit, some of them will miss, but even if like 1 in 30 misses, or only 1 in 30 hits, you're pretty good to go. You're doubling on that one. 10 cents, you'll be able to look at Sunblast Angel. It's out of stock at $1. This is an EDH playable card, and so it's going to go up from there because it's out of stock. True Conviction, that's one that's been seeing a lot of increase lately. It's again now at $1, and it's selling quickly. Venser's Journal, EDH staple. So I guess we should go back to Zednikar. So let's look at like, I just need to get Zednikar pulled up here. Of course, Scalding Tarn is going insane right now. They really, really need to reprint Fetch Lands before it goes crazy, crazy, crazy prices on these Fetch Lands. Man, and this is Star City that bought every Fetch Land possible, and now they're sold out. Anyway, look at rares again. Most of these rares, look, even uncommons from Zednikar, selling at $1 a piece. But you have a lot of these. Look at all these rares that are above bulk price, like Beastmaster Ascension. Again, that's not really a playable card in anything but casual format. And Yeah, even Blood Chief Ascension. There you go. There is a great example of a EDH card that you rarely ever see play anything but casual in EDH. That was a bulk rare that is now $2. So if you bought this for 10 cents out of a bulk bin or 25 cents for a bulk bin, you've increased substantially here. Here in Celestial Mantle again. This card was probably. I'll have to look at some of the graphs on this. This is a bulk card. It's got to be. But enchanted creature gets plus Ubersly, and whenever it hits, you double your life total. Absolutely pointless to play this in anything but casual and EDH. And anyway, so I think Zendikar is a good indication. We got a Mary Angel going up. Goblin Guide's going crazy. Luminarch Ascension. Actually, this does see a little bit of competitive play, but not much. But again, it's an EDH staple. And again, see, so not all of these are going to hit, and you never know when these Zendikar cards are going to be the next big thing. If we even go back further than Zendikar, let's go back into like Mirrodin and see the EDH. There you go, another EDH. Plus, it does see some competitive play, but mostly EDH and whatnot. You'll begin to see some incredible price increases on these EDH. There you go, Rite of Replication. That's definitely an EDH card. It was $4 a piece. And yeah, just good example here. Let's go back to a Mirrodin. Got to think of a card from Mirrodin that we'll look at Arcbound Ravager. Look at that, whatever set that's from. And I'm going to show you hopefully some cards that have absolutely no chance of seeing competitive play, that are getting quite expensive. Man, maybe this isn't the greatest set on EDH. But I mean, a lot of these even rare. Oh, these are commons. Let's get out of commons here. Let's just go right to the rares. And let's see what we're. So Darksteel Colossus, there we go. That's an EDH card. It does see some competitive play, not much though. But I mean, a $6 card. It probably at one point wasn't bulk rare though, because I think they were using it back then. And a reprint, and this was a commander only, casual only. Was this Darksteel Sword was $10 now before it's been reprinted now as a mythic in M14, and that's just, there you go. That's EDH completely. The demand for the card, decreasing the supply and increasing the price. So yeah, like I said, a lot of these do get quite expensive. Leon and Shikari. Let's see. You can play equip abilities anytime you can play an instant. Again, I haven't ever seen this in any sort of competitive scene, so it must be EDH that is driving this price up. Or what's Memnarch here? Memnarch, turn improvements becomes an artifact, gain short target artifact. Again, this is probably, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is only an EDH card, which is $5 a piece. So it's going to take a while for these cards to go up, but you'll be happy you invested them in. A while back when Return to Ravnica came out, people were making fun of me, or not Return to Ravnica, Ravnica came out, because I was trading cards like Loxodon and Hierarch, and a lot of the stable cards that we're seeing play in Ravnica for Dark Confidants, which weren't seeing any play. But I noticed they were seeing play in Legacy, and Legacy wasn't the biggest format back then, but you did see staple Legacy cards increase in price over time. And so I knew I was getting out of the game for a while, and I traded. I had like 4 play sets of Dark Confidants at one point. I have no clue where a speculation binder is from back in that day. I've just let it. It's probably rotting away in some closet somewhere. And then I did get my cards stolen, so I lost a lot of my spec targets back then. But I was trading for Dark Confidants for like $3-4 a piece back at the time when they weren't seeing any standard playable. And people were making fun of me, like, why do you have a whole page full of Dark Confidants? And I'm like, because it's gonna, go up in value eventually. And I got laughed at, whatnot. And then here, lo and behold, Dark Confidants is a $75 card due to competitive play. But if trends continue, EDH is going to be if it isn't already the most played format, it is going to probably be the most played format in the coming future. And even though they only require one copy each, that is enough, like I said, to increase the demand and therefore increase the price. So I think this Scars of Mirrodin, which is a 10, it's been this was 10 years ago. Here we go, another panoptic mirror, $4 a piece. Does that say any competitive play? I don't think so. Pristine angel, $4 a piece. Yeah, no competitive play at all. And it's $4 a piece. These are just reshape. Oh, reshape does see competitive play. Well, not really without I think they played this in eggs or a few other cards they played reshape in. Man, this card, if you haven't retract, I am so close to breaking the Beck Call, and retract is definitely in that deck. I think you should pick up your retracts at 50 cents a piece. That's crazy. This card's one of those cards that if Beck Call ever becomes a tier 1 deck, what I do is I use Beck Call and retract, and then my kill condition is just a storm card. So you throw everything into play, and then you draw a bunch of cards off of it. You retract everything back. So it's like Springleaf Drums, Mox Opals, and then Ornithopters, Memnites, and whatnot. And it's very, very close for me to actually breaking it. And retract is definitely a card. I'll have to show you that deck if I get around to it. So if you haven't invested in retract at 50 cents, it has a ton of potential. But again, Savage Beating, does this have any? Only during combat, choose one creature control to double strike, untap all creatures you control, and there's another attack phase, and you can untwine. Again, it's something that $1.50 out of stock, so it'll probably go up even more. That sees absolutely no competitive play. Same as Shield of Kaldara. All of these, just look at all of these cards that wow. Anyway, so that's just my thought on EDH. Again, I'm putting that out there. Anyone that knows a list of Innistrad, Dark Ascension, and Avacyn Restored cards that see a ton of EDH play, compile a list, send it to me. I'll give you credit for it. I'll do a video on it. And yeah, let's start investing in some of these cards. Like I said, it's going to be 3 to 4 years before you're going to really profit from them. But only a couple years before they go from, hey, I got them out of someone's buying it for 10 cents to I can trade them to an EDH player at 50 cents. So there's where you'll get the value. You'll times times your profit by 5 just in that scenario right there. Anyway, this has been Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com with the Rogue Market. Check out my Rogue Market competition coming out soon. I thought I'd do an episode getting ahead of it, and with these rotation cards that I think you should invest in. I might do a more serious video about actual cards. Again, I'm waiting for that list of EDH to be compiled. Again, I know nothing about the format. I'd like to know an expert's opinion on this so I know where to invest. This is Kevin from Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.